My reaction is that I am extremely disappointed, and I disagree with what was concluded in that decision, but of course I have to respect it.
The judgment said that the act was capricious because the only building to benefit in Gibraltar was yours, and a very small amount of tenants as well. Now, why do you think that was? Why do you think the act was designed only to benefit your building?
Who says that this is the only building? I understand that Land Property Services has a list of another 200 properties around Gibraltar, and I, as the chairman of this Tenants Association, can confirm absolutely and resolutely that Mr. Balban never ever had any benefit from the amendment.
The tenants agreed, I believe, prior to 2008. They agreed on the increase. So what was the need for the amendment in 2013 anyway?
They agreed. I never heard of that. This was not an offer. There was no negotiation. It was a unilateral increase by one side only, and they were threatened with eviction. So they had to pay, and they paid under protest by using a written protest slip, so that that said that they were not paying because they agreed with the rent, but only paying under duress because they were being threatened with eviction.
Now, this is a big old building and presumably in need of regular repairs and maintenance. Do you think it's fair that the landlords were not able to charge their tenants a rental rate more in line with market value?
The amendment only affected a certain number, 23 at the maximum. Now it's down to 19 tenants because there are people who were paying the low rent and have now left the building. There is an extension by the Act of 2 successions, but in many cases, elderly tenants have no successors with them, so when they leave or expire, whatever it is that happens, the building will revert back to the landlords. Some of the tenants which are in the low rent now are themselves first successors. So if they're succeeded, it will be at the high rent. So it is not as bad as they make it out.
Well, the government have said that they're going to appeal the judgment at the Privy Council in London. Now, there's no suggestion at this point that the Act is going to be repealed. But if it is, what will the effect be, do you think, on those tenants affected?
Well, just consider. Just imagine a person who's 75 or 80 years old and relies on a pension of about £1,000, and now he has to pay £500 or £600 in rent, plus rates, plus telephone, plus water. He'll starve, won't he?
What do you make of the political row that's erupted between the government and the GSD with Francis Flats firmly in the middle?
Politics disgust me. This is what it is. This is throwing, it's slapstick, throwing mud one to another. What they should do is engage their resources to try and better the situation, not who is right and who is wrong, but let's find a viable solution for the two tenants who are of limited means, who are now elderly, who now rely on their pensions and will have to meet a very high rent if the amendment is repealed.